Welcome to part 2 of understanding solutions and projects. Now in part 1 I kind of did a little bit of an almost silly example using a plastic bowl and a sandwich and that sort of thing to explain how solutions and projects relate to each other. And I did that because a lot of people get confused with this when they're new to Visual Studio. And in this video I want to just kind of finish that thought, and then later on you're actually going to see this over and over in our examples as we kind of work through the C++ language a little bit in this course. So the project and solution relationship is really nothing more than a bunch of nested objects or containers within containers. And this container hierarchy is built out there to allow you to organize your files and settings in a meaningful relationship that you can use to administer them and take care of them and work with them, but it also provides some functionality to the compilation process and the way your project's actually built and put together. Now let's start with the project first. Visual Studio uses project files as containers, and notice what it contains. It has all the files and settings required to generate a .NET assembly. Well, another word for .NET assembly is that executable code that we see that is a result of compiling the code. All right? So in the .NET world, if you want to know what's in your assembly, look at your project. All that stuff in that project's getting sliced and diced and compiled down into that .NET assembly. And a project, and this is really cool, make sure you catch this part, a project can be part of one or more solutions. So we can reuse projects, if you will. So once we get something really cool working in a project, we can use it in multiple solutions. Now the solution itself is a little different. A solution is used to group related projects together. Now this is primarily when we want to control the build process. So if we have multiple projects, one of them's the startup project. For whatever reason, one needs to be compiled before the other. We can use them to build dependency or to control build dependency issues in our projects. We have multiple projects. The way we put them in our solution, the solution can be used to control the precise order in which the projects are built. And one last thing I'll hit you with here, while a project can be a member of multiple solutions, a solution cannot be part of another solution. All right? And so that's one distinction you need to be aware of there. And again, we're going to be working with projects and solutions. And I also mentioned that when you look at solution files out on the hard drive, they'll have a .sln extension. And if you're working with projects, it's going to have a different extension based on the type language that you're coding in. Okay? And I'll show you some of that as we go through some examples a little bit later on as well. So anyway, since these things can be problematic and confusing, I just wanted to explain them to you, and we'll take a look at them again in a little more detail once we jump into the examples.